What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Guess what? Today, we're going to be talking about revenge bedtime procrastination. This is something that I was looking into myself. So what's up, you guys? Welcome to the live stream. Today, we're going to talk about something that a lot of you guys do, and nobody talks about it, but it's revenge bedtime procrastination. All right. Drop a hands up emoji if you are falling short of this one. Okay. Hands up, hands up, hands up. Revenge bedtime procrastination. Okay. And the reason why we're not waking up at that 5 a.m., 6 a.m. is because we're in rebel mode, because we're freedom seekers and don't tell me what to do. I'm going to do what I want to do, but then every day you're like, why did I sabotage myself? So we're going to explain this right now. But before we get started, go ahead and share this live stream. Let your friends know what's up. Let your social platform know what's up, because this is a big one that's going to get you more productive and more efficient in your tomorrow. Okay, but what we do the night before right now, I want to come up here and tell you guys, because it's something that once I had clarity on, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm sabotaging myself. And this is actually a real thing, especially with high achievers. Like, we're high achievers, but we get in our own freaking way and we block our blessings. So we're going to talk about it right now. We're going to have a little church session right now and get you guys to overcome some of your blocks. But before we get started, like I said, let your friends know what's up. Make sure you tag me, screenshot this live if you guys are watching the replay, and share this on your social. I do this stuff for free because I really, really want to help you guys. And so what we could do is just spread the word and get people more aware of it. All right. So let's get clear on this first. So according to Alessandra Edwards, a performance expert, revenge bedtime procrastination is quite common in people who feel they don't have control over their time. So how many of you guys here were talking about I wish I want to be better with time management, right? Go ahead and put the little hands up or the hand up thing, time management. That's a big thing that I'm getting. I actually just sent an email out. If you guys are not in the email, make sure you click the link in bio, or if you want to connect directly, you can schedule a connection call, 30 minutes complimentary. The link is in the bio, www.tanyacoliver.com/call. Boom. Alani, what's up? What's going on? What's going on? Okay, so here it goes. This is a big thing, not having control over your time. What I've also realized is if you have children, if you have a lot on your plate, if you're constantly serving others, that nighttime, we procrastinate it because that might be your only segment of freedom. Have you guys ever been like, oh my gosh, this is my only downtime is this time right now, but you're already have exhausted yourself that night. And then that one part of I need that freedom time. That freedom time is my nighttime. But what happens is we have to realize every single thing that we do is going to have an impact, aka a consequence. Now, let's get clear. Consequence is not a bad thing, okay? Consequence just means, we just put a negative connotation to it, but consequence just means an outcome. So what we do right now is going to have an impact. The impact is either desired or it's undesired, okay? Are you guys getting this? Go ahead and put hands up, oh my gosh, yes, that's me. I totally get it. Just want to make sure you guys are following along, because I'm going to be dropping some diamonds on you right now. So remember, there's a revenge bedtime procrastination is common in people who feel like they don't have control over their time. So maybe you've been taking care of everybody else all day long, and this one time late at night is your time. So you get into this revenge mode, right? You get into this revenge mode. You get into this I'm not going to bed, but every single morning you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, I wanted to wake up at 5 a.m. because I wanted to go work out, or I want to wake up at 6 a.m. and I wanted to have a morning routine. So I'm also going to give you guys a few strategies on how to shift this behavior, because it is a big behavior that will impact your next 24 hours. What we do the night before impacts the energy that we wake up in the next day, and also how we sleep and how we're performing in our next 24 hours. And if you just take ownership over the next 24 hours, let the 24 hours go by, take ownership over the next 24 hours, let the 24 hours go, like all that ends up compounding into what happens in your next 6 months, what happens in your next year. Like every day counts. And I want you guys to take this mantra and affirmation with you. Today counts and what I do matters. Today counts and what I do matters. All right. What's up? Tanya's in here. What's up, girl? We got sweets. So go ahead, say what's up in here. Okay, so here's a few things that I want to go over with you guys. So what we're talking about is revenge bedtime procrastination. For those of you that are just hopping on live with me right now, this get into that like the rebellious mindset, all right? That rebel part of us, especially if you're a high-end achiever, a high-end entrepreneur. The part of self-mastery is also knowing yourself and understanding your personality trait. And like, it doesn't mean that segment of yourself has to, and that's like the shadow side, it doesn't mean that segment of self has to run the show. But if you know yourself and you know your traits, you can have a healthy self-dialogue to learn to have stronger discipline. And if you understand that discipline is not a form of self-punishment, discipline is actually a form of freedom. So if you want to get really healthy and strong, there's a discipline and a practice that comes into place until it becomes a lifestyle. But in the beginning, it's going to require mental energy and effort. If you want to be successful in your business, there is a discipline. Discipline equals freedom. And eventually that compounds into you getting to the next level. There are levels to everything. But number one comes the acceptance of where you are, how you're blocking your next level upgrade, and getting very clear on different segments of your personality in order to, what do I have to overcome in order to become a better version or the most elite version of myself in this season of my life. Because you have to understand, life comes in seasons. Even when you eat out at restaurants, phenomenal restaurants, they have seasonal menus. We have to learn how to cycle and accept the space that we're in based on the season that we're in our life, because our seasons are constantly going to be shifting. And that also comes in a space of acceptance. And acceptance is really the segment where you can start to make progress. And if we understand what thriving is making progress. So hold on, I'm going down too many different rabbit holes. All right, so let me back up here. So when you get clear on discipline equals freedom, which is a mindset that rebellious is like, don't tell me what to do. I'm going to do what I want. Da, 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 da. This, we get into something called permission-based statement. So anytime like when I'm having a self-dialogue or I'm teaching my students how to healthy self-dialogue in order to overcome the rebellious side, I call those a little gremlins. You guys know what I'm talking about? Do you remember the movie Gremlins? We're like, don't feed them after midnight. And they're like those little gremlins. All right. Maybe, no, I don't know. Okay. Anyway. I'm going backwards here. So when we see that rebellious side, I like to call it the shadow trait. And then also I give that segment a name. So it's not like doesn't own me. I call her Heidi because she's like hiding and waiting to like, ruin whatever work I'm trying to get into. So I'm like, listen, little rebel, I have to talk to him. Like, listen, little T girl. You can go ahead. Remember, if consequence means cause and effect, the decision I make right now is going to impact the next 24 hours. So if we're talking about today's topic is revenge bedtime procrastination. So I'm like, okay, listen, I can stay up late at night and I can scroll on my phone and I can like delay going to bed because this is like a freedom hour and I'm delaying like the tomorrow, but there's a lot that I want to accomplish. It's going to get me a lot closer towards my goals and my dreams and my visions. And so if I have structure in my night and I have a form of discipline, so I like to call it a self-care hour. I have a lot of my clients and my students create a bedtime routine, a self-care hour. And all I have to do is follow that protocol and have that discipline. Remember, discipline equals freedom. When you have structure, you have order. With no structure equals chaos. We have mental chaos, emotional chaos. There's turbulence in there. And eventually, when you start running in order and you have that order in your life, you're going to have more freedom. You're going to have higher levels of achievement. And at the end of the day, we want what we want because we feel. Go ahead and drop some words on here like, why do you want what you want? I know why I want what I want. I want what I want because I want to feel fulfillment. I want what I want because I know it's going to allow me to feel achievement, which is that fulfillment. I know I want what I want because I know it's going to bring me joy. It's going to bring me bliss. And I just want to live life vivaciously. I want to live life in my full potential. I want to see how far I can take certain things. I want to leave an imprint and a mark. I want to feel significant. And what I do, I want to leave an impact. That's why I come on these lives, to be able to really serve you guys, to share all the amazing stuff that I've learned, to be able to consistently grow and evolve and shift. So why do you want what you want? Like, get really clear and understand, like, what we do the night before is going to impact the next 24 hours of our day. So when we get into the space of knowing, like, we need to establish habits that are going to be an asset to you versus a liability. Is me having this revenge bedtime procrastination, which is like the core of our topic tonight, an asset, or is it a liability? Is this a behavior that's going to move me closer towards what I'm trying to achieve, how I want to look, how I want to feel, and how I want to show up in the next 24 hours? Or is this something that is actually kind of setting me back, and it's going to be draining me and taking my vitality? I'm going to wake up with anxiety. I'm going to wake up with depression. I'm not going to want to wake up at all. You know, like what, how's it going to impact you? Because I know when I go back and I audit what I did the day before, if I wake up with anxiety or depression, it's typically because I had no discipline for my routines, or I didn't show up for my routines. And I love how I was listening to a podcast the other day with Brian Bouchard, and he was saying, you know, he always goes back and he has this acronym called MEDS. And it stands for meditation, exercise, diet, and sleep. And like, wow, like, was I on point? Was my nutrition on point today? Did I like overeat? Was I over snacking? Did I eat too late at night? Was I on my food schedule? Did I get my training in? Did I work out? Did I take care of my body? Did I meditate? Did I sleep well? How were my routines? Did I get quality sleep? Did I show up for my night routine, or was I up too late at night and the last thing I did like impacted how I slept, whether it being social media or scrolling through old pictures? Because I did that the other day. I was going through old pictures, and when I was scrolling and I was looking at like memories from 3 years ago, 5 years ago, by the time I know it, like 2 hours go by, and I'm looking at memories I didn't want to be looking at. Those are memories that I had to work really hard to heal. And so it triggered something inside of my heart, and it impacted my sleep. So you just have to know, if you are cleaning things up, everything needs to have a home, because you have to treat your night routine and your morning routine as very sacred times, as these times impact our subconscious. It impacts our programming. So if we want to impact and program ourselves in ways that we're like in the space of building the new, then we have to really, really be intentional. And moments where we're awake and alert, you can spend time strategizing and planning out what that night routine is going to be like, so we make sure our night routine and our morning routine are actually assets to us versus liabilities. So building a night routine is critical. Building a morning routine to help you with this revenge bedtime procrastination. And just whenever you have that rebellious side of you, just be like, listen, I can do whatever I want, but how do I choose to feel? That permission-based statement helped me overcome so many bad decisions, let me tell you, and it's helped a lot of my clients who have very extremist, rebellious personalities. The work is very simple, you guys. It's just not easy, okay? Because if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Everybody would be successful with it. And one of the biggest things when it comes to leaders and leadership is, if you are trying to be an impactful leader in the world, because a lot of the students that I take on, they have the ability to be impactful leaders. But the thing is, you have to learn to first impact and influence and lead yourself first. You have to be able to influence yourself and lead yourself and have the discipline. Remember, discipline equals freedom, in order to overcome a lot of things that are blocking your blessings and getting in the way. So establishing a solid night routine, a solid morning routine, and then following through with it. One thing is, when I was overcoming a lot of trauma about 1.5 years ago and really, really working on healing work as I was still performing at very high levels and working with very elite clients, and nobody knew what I was going through until like after. And one thing too, you guys, is when you're going through something, don't share it. Get support. Get a very strong lineup of people that are support you so you can still execute in whatever it is that you got to do in your life and in your business. But those are things that are not designed to be going and sharing your stuff, especially when you're in very vulnerable states. So when I was going through all that, I had to listen to a lot of audios, a lot of audiobooks, a lot of things to get out of my own head, a lot of things like Dr. Joe Dispenza. I was listening to a lot of Abraham Hicks, Law of Attraction. I was listening to even Kevin Hart's book, The Decision, just to like get things to get me laughing. Anything that was either humorous and educational in like a very spiritual way. Another thing too is what you do late at night. If you are reading books, make sure that they're non-stimulating. We need to make sure that what we're doing at night allows us to like calm our nervous system, find our peace, get connected to your spiritual side, so you can unwind and get some really, really good sleep. Another thing is like journaling things, brain dumping. If you got a lot in your mind, a lot in your heart, just get it out off on paper. And if you guys really need support on like maybe you don't trust yourself of making a solid night routine or a solid morning routine, and or like knowing how to journal or just how to really like take care of yourself and mentally, physically, emotionally, you can always schedule a connection call that we're still offering this month. It's www.tanyacoliver.com/call. And that link is inside of the bio. But I hope you guys have an amazing night. Get some sleep. Do not rebel. Let me not say do not, because then you're going to rebel even more. But just want to give you some education on this revenge bedtime procrastination. And just know that sleep has a huge impact on your overall performance as a high-end achiever. So sending you guys so much love. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm actually going to start my routine right now. Discipline starts now, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a blessed up night and a great day tomorrow.